Welcome, Central Texas. Welcome to Kids Community Connections 103.1. Kids FM. I'm Phyllis Jones, your host, and I don't like the weather, as y'all know. Everybody should. I hate this weather. I simply hate it. The hotter it gets, the more irritable it gets, and I can't think. It was cold outside, I could think. My brain works. Everything is fine. It's hot outside, and the only thing I'm thinking about is hot outside, and I gotta get out of this. But anyway, I guess I'll survive. I've been surviving all these years, but I still get irritable. So if y'all see me looking upset, it means it's hot outside. Not necessarily I'm upset at anybody. But you know, today we're going to talk about some things that we have to do. I'm not going to say you want to do, need to do, but we have to do it because we have to finish a process that we started. Last weekend, we had our elections. And our new city council people are sworn in on Tuesdays, and everybody now thinks you've done your job and that's it. Right? Wrong. You haven't. There's more to do. You see, when the city council is sworn in on Tuesday, the first thing they do is they throw their hands up in the air and they vote for who is going to be the mayor pro tem. To some of you might think the mayor pro tem is not important because all he does is show up when the mayor doesn't show up. Wrong. Not true. That part is, but he does more than that. The most important thing that the mayor pro tem does is he and the mayor sit with the city manager and they form the agenda for the city council meeting. So just think about that. The mayor pro tem and the mayor sit with the city council, would sit with the city manager and form the agenda. So we need to make sure we put the right person as the mayor pro tem. So my suggestion is you call all your city council people, even the ones that are not yours, because they all got to vote. I'll call all of them and ask them, who are you going to vote for mayor pro tem? Now you got to remember is the old guard, as we want to say, the people with the money, the PAC and all those, we know who they want for city manager. I mean, for the, mayor pro tem, we know who they want. But you got to be careful of that because just think, if I have a mayor who's been given money by this PAC who wants control, and if I have the mayor pro tem who's been given money by a PAC for control, if those two are sitting with the city manager to form the agenda, you know how the agenda is going to look, right? Right. So we know it's not going to look like the citizens want it. It's just going to be looking a different way. So what you need to do, like I said, is contact from today till Tuesday before 5. Contact all of your city council people, all of them, even those that are not yours, all of them, and ask them who do they want. And then you proceed, if that's not the person you think, you proceed to tell them who they will vote for. Because remember, we don't work for them, they work for us. We put them in office, we can take them out of office. You remember that. Don't ever let them think that they're doing us a big favor. We're doing them the favor by letting them sit there. But make sure that you tell your city council person and all the rest who you want as mayor pro tem. And I would say who we want as mayor pro tem is someone who's always, first of all, is around. That you see at events that you don't have to always buy a ticket for. That you see events, you see them at events where basically it's just a gathering of the community. But that person, that city council person is there, being everly so involved in the community as possible. That's the kind of person you want as your mayor pro tem, because when they set the agenda, they'll think about the community and they'll have the community in mind. Now, if you pick someone who never shows up for anything, doesn't know anything about the community, nothing at all, what's going to be on his agenda? Would his points and his money, the people who gave him money, be on the agenda, or would you be on the agenda? You need to think about that. So like I said, call them. And a lot of times people say, you give me something to do, but you don't tell me how. Well, I'm telling you now, call them all up. You have 7 of them, call them. If you don't know who they are, I will tell you right now. District number 1, you have Shirley Fleming. District 2, you have Debbie Nash King. Number 3, you have Jim Kilpatrick. 4, you will have Steve Harris. At large, you have Jose Rivera. I almost forgot his name. Jose Ferreira. You have Gregory Johnson. And you also have Jonathan O'Cray. So, like I said, their numbers are public. They're there. And if you're on my Facebook page this evening, I'm going to post them on there with their phone numbers. But like I said, call them, text them, harass them, bug them. See who they want. Do they want the old guard in there as the city's mayor pro tem? And if they do, you know what it's all about. If they tell you they want somebody new and different, then you know what it's all about. But it's our choice to make. So don't think you voted and nothing's going to happen. you still got to be engaged. You still got to be involved, because you know, someone in the paper, they put on there that our city is no longer in debt. Yeah, right, sure. All we know they did is shift some more money, and shifting money is not going to help us. Shifting money hurts us, because somewhere along the line, somebody's going to be short and they're going to ask us to pay for it. Last time, if you pay attention, if you remember, they tried to enforce transfer fees on us. And the transfer fees were helping the city out of debt, actually. Well, me personally, I don't think that it's our job to get the city out of debt. I think it's the city's job to get themselves out of debt. First of all, we need to find out who did it and why, and who did it, not why they did it. Because I really don't care. We shouldn't care about why you did shift money and play all these games with the money. We need to be concerned as what's going to happen to you when it's found out who did it. But we got to remember, we're not finished. Like I said, the city, our taxes is supposed to be 24% per person. Right now, our city is 29% per person, which is what, 4 cents for each person in the city of Killeen. So still means out we're not out of debt. We're still in debt. Might not be that 8 million that we were in debt, but guess what? We're still in debt. And like I said, we need to make our city council people and our mayor aware that we're not paying it. Don't raise any of our taxes, because that's what they're talking about. Because then again, who be paying for it? We will. They need not raise anything, because I'll say, to me, don't raise anything in mind until you find out where the money went. Once you find out where the money went and how it got there, and all the people who were in there in control of it, then you talk to me about raising some fees after you do all that, which is the audit. If you paid attention to the paper last week, if you read it online, I don't care how you read it, the auditor gave a preliminary report. His preliminary report, let you know that money was put over here, secret accounts were added in there. So, our city's been busy. My thing is, do those people still work for the city? And also, when you call in your city council about the mayor pro tem, ask them what do they think needs to be done to the people who work for the city that were caught up in our money shortage. Find out what they suggest happened to them. If they suggest leniency, we know something's wrong with that. If they suggest they're fired or charged or whatever, we know what's wrong with that. But what we know what's with that, we need to know. Those are things we need to be asking today. If you live in Killeen, you need to know what's the responsibility going to be, because this is not, Walmart, HEB, whatever, embezzling money. This is your city, who's supposed to be responsible to you, who's supposed to be taking care of you, and instead they're taking care of themselves. We need to find out, for Celebrate, I'm gonna get killed for this one, for Celebrate Killeen Fest, I'm there, I'm walking around, and I'm noticing that some of the city staff had, new trucks, new vehicles, they're cruising around in these nice new vehicles. So, my question is, hey, where those vehicles come from? Found out that all of them got new vehicles. City staff got new city vehicles. So, you know what? I called city council person. I called 2 of them. I'm like, where'd they get this money from? I asked that. You know why? Because I want to know, if we short money, how they get new vehicles? Because he had a F-150 truck. I'm like, really? That was a cool truck. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. We don't have any money. We broke, but we buy these vehicles. So I want to know where the money came from. And I was told it didn't come from this budget. It might have came from a previous budget. Guess what I asked? Then go find out what the previous budget was. Because I still want to know where this money came from. Because these trucks that weren't used, they didn't cost 5 cents. They cost some money. And so you're going to pay. We bought new vehicles for them to drive from City Hall or Parks and Recs to just those same places. Parks and Recs, Killeen Community Center, and City Hall. So we bought brand new vehicles for them to drive those 3 places when they used to drive their own. And they got gas mileage. So which is more expensive? The gas mileage to go to these 3 places they had to go, or buying them brand new vehicles? So somewhere, somehow or another, they got new vehicles. But those are things we need to pay attention to. Yes, I'm going to get it for this one, I know. But it's okay. Because I still want to know where the money, how to get the money to get those things. Yet, we're crying broke. We can't cry. That's like some people we know. They crying broke and drive a Mercedes. You're like, hold on, maybe you don't have any money because you got the Mercedes. Well, same way with the city. It's frivolous spending, and we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to quit being lazy. We need to quit saying somebody else going to do it. We need to quit all that because, we quit to complain, but action we don't do. We'd rather sit back and complain. Well, let's get off your little tush, and while you on Facebook your city council people. All of them got a Facebook page. So while you Facebook them and demand an answer. I'm one, I'm not going to call a city council person on the phone because I don't want to talk to them on the phone because there's no checks and balances with that conversation. So I'm going to text them or Facebook you. So you have to give me back answer in writing. Therefore, we can have a conversation because if you ever say, I didn't say this, I can pull it up. If you talk to me on the phone and we just have a conversation over the phone, guess what? It's my word against yours and both of us lose. We both lose. So my advice is to text them, Facebook them. I'd rather Facebook you than share with everybody, because they're public officials. They have no private life. They need to know that too. Whatever, they have no private life. So they can't say don't call me and don't Facebook me because I'm not going to do that all the time I want to. Also, your city council, if you have an issue with something and you want to put on the agenda, a lot of us don't know how to do it. So we've been talking to our city council, or we talk to one another about doing it. But what you need to do is email them at their city email address, because each council person has a city email address. Go to the city council's website, find it on there, email them and tell them, hey, listen, I need you to, I'll tell you me, I became deeply involved in our child sex trafficking because it's out of control. So I emailed one of our city council persons, which is mine, which happens to be Jim Kilpatrick. He's my council person, and I wanted to put it on the agenda. So I emailed him to tell him I wanted it on the agenda. So you know what's going to happen when he doesn't put it on the agenda? I'm going to blast him some more. And I'm going to continuously blast him because he works for me. He works for me. He does. And if he doesn't do what he said, I'm going to blast him. And that's what we need to do. Too many times, we get ticked off about something and we go talk to our best friends and we talk to everybody else, but we never consider just making it out there, just throwing it out there and say, hey, listen, this is what you do. But if you ever want something placed on the agenda and you want your city council person to ask about it, go to City Hall's Facebook, website, and go to where the council is. Their email address, their council email address is on there. So take off if there's something you don't like, something going on, something you want them to talk about on the agenda. And remember, to get the agenda correct, you need to correct Mayor Pro Tem to get your stuff on the agenda. But if you want it done, you contact them by email, and you can also, blind copy it to the city manager also, and also to the mayor if you would like to. But that's one way of getting things on the agenda and getting your complaints heard instead of talking to 50 people or snatching the city councilman while he at an event and say, hey, listen, you know what? I need y'all to talk about this. Well, from the time you told him that to the time he gets to do something, too many things have happened, and what you just asked him that was important to you is gone because he's forgotten it. Not forgotten it on purpose, maybe, but it's forgotten. So do the other way around. Email him. Now, many of us will say we don't have time. Yes, you do. Because those 15 minutes you spent on Facebook, you had time. Those other 15 minutes you spent reading what's on Facebook, you still had time. That when you push that share button and sharing all the things that you share, you had time to go to their Facebook page or their email and email them. It only takes a minute. I'll say if I have time, everybody has time. But we do have time. We need to build it, and time has become now an excuse. An excuse for, I'm going to say it, laziness. Because we'll just say, I don't have time, and I live a busy lifestyle. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. Yes, you do. You really do. Because when it's something that you really want to do, you'll make time for it. So those of us who live in the city of Killeen, pay attention. And also, Carpus Code, don't think y'all off easy too, because you all are in debt also. And I haven't heard any residents from Carpus Code saying anything about Carpus Code being in debt. But you all are in debt. Your water company and Carpus Cove, I don't know if anybody knows, but people in Carpus Cove have been getting these outrageous water bills. A lady got $261 water bill, and she wasn't watering her grass. She wasn't doing anything, and got this bill. This one man went on vacation, and they got a $300 water bill. He was on vacation. So, I guess he was in a vacation in the pool in his backyard every day. But so, in Carpus Cove, you all having some serious water issues. Bring it up to your city council. Bring it up to your mayor. You all need to be flooding your city council meetings, taking it over. You know, and can you do a takeover of a city council meeting? Sure you can. Just get enough people to sign up to speak and block them from doing business. They'll listen to you. I know that because it's a union tactic. We do that. But, you know, if you ever want to take over your city council meetings, get enough people to sign up to speak. They give you 3 minutes. But you get enough people to sign up to speak, and you don't have to say a complete sentence. You say something, the next person says something to you all made and say something all together. If you take up enough of their time, they won't have the time to do their business. They'll certainly listen to you because now you've made it uncomfortable for them to do their business. So, Carpus Code, while y'all could be laughing at Killeen, excuse me, but y'all need to fix the water problem y'all do have. It was on the news, and I thought it was really bad. It was on the news, and it wasn't on local news. It was on NBC News tonight. You know, it was on there and about the Carpus Code water issue. And from what I know now, it still hasn't been repaired yet. So, residents of Cove, I think y'all need to get on it too and start working and raising your voices, because all we're doing is sitting down saying, I don't care. Roll over, kick me, I'll just keep rolling over. We need to quit rolling over, stand up and say, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You know, years ago when our city council was doing some crazy things, our council member, he wasn't a council member then, Jonathan O'Cray, did a recall. Something people thought was never going to happen ever again. He started a recall all by himself, just him. All of a sudden, it galvanized. So wait a minute, hold up. He's saying something right. Hold up, wait a minute. We can really do this. After people realized it could really be done, it went around and they all got recalled. You know, and if it was done once, it could be done again. So people, remember, the power belongs to the person. It doesn't belong to the council people that you elect. It doesn't belong to them. The power is you. Like I said, you put them in, you take them out of office just as well. And they need to always know that. Don't always, you know, when they give you that high smile, pat you on, I can't stand the pat on the back thing. It really gets on my nerves. Because I don't know where their hands have been all day when they touch me. I don't know. So it makes me kind of, you know, feel like I need to go home and wash my clothes. But anyway, that's my own personal issue. And our station director, more for KISS, he's sitting here looking at me like, no, she didn't say that. But I did. I just
know how to approach you. I just know not to approach you and pat you on the back. That's all I know.
It's when council people or elected officials pat you on the back saying something. I know you're lying to me at that point. They're lying to me when they pat you on the back. Smile, lie coming out number one. You know, after that point, it's all lies because they don't know what to say to you, so they're gonna try to smile and pat on the back thing. And at that time, you know, I really want to punch them, but I can't. I'll go to jail. Actually, no, because they touched me and they didn't ask me. I might try that one day. Anyway,
I got a question.
What's that?
This is Mel's on the MIC, by the way. Hello. I'm up here recording the show. Let me ask you this question, though. Would you say that if it wasn't for Jonathan O'Cray's recall effort, none of the financial situation, I think none of that would have ever been discovered? Would you say that had he's got the ball rolling, because what now we've learned over the last few years that that the money's been just disappearing from the city? Would you say that his effort was the starting point of the community starting to find out what's going on with the city council?
Yes, I would, because when he did it, that's when the city decided to get into an issue with Connie Green, who was our city manager. At that time, that's when they, you know, there were some things he was about to do. So the word came up to fire him. But unfortunately, when they went to fire him, they didn't look at his contract. They didn't pay attention to the man's contract. Because what they didn't know was the previous city manager had wrote Connie Green's contract. And they didn't know they were going to pay him $750,000 to go. They didn't know that. In fact, one of the people was running for council in District 1. When he found out that they were going to pay him this money, he wanted to rehire him again, but it was too late. And that was the start of Jonathan, because we didn't know where the money came from. And we still don't know where the money came from, because we believe that not that Connie Green was a part of it, but that $750,000 hurt somewhere.
Right. I mean, I always look back to that. As the sort of the impetus and the beginning of what's going on with the city council. And now that the city's more aware of it, I know KDH is doing like some incredible investigating reporting on this story. What do you think? What do you think happened to the money?
Me, I think that
that's speculation now. To be clear.
Just me, Phyllis. I think that people got real comfortable in the positions, real comfortable, very comfortable, and they started manipulating money. I think first it was rob Peter to pay Paul, the normal thing that people do in a household, but they did it on a bigger scale. And when they started doing that, misappropriation of money became. Like somebody got a raise last year. Yeah, if you remember, last year, first part of last year, a certain person who works for the city got a raise. Yet her raise was, went back a whole year on her raise. Who gets a raise and they retroactive back a year? And so to me, that was a huge red flag. No one gets a raise January 1st and you make a retroactive to last year, the whole January 1st. So they got a retroactive year. How you do that? Not done. But they got done. That's misappropriation of funds. To me, he should have been fired. But it got let go because he was part of the old guard. I'll put it that way. He's part of the old guard. So yes, Jonathan O'Craig, when he did the recall, people started realizing that, wait a minute, hold up, excuse me. These things are going on. And a lot of it was from when he did that, and along with the Connie Green issue, yeah, that made a big, huge impact upon people because they started waking up to, first of all, it became an issue because an African-American male received $750,000 as retirement to lead the city. that became a huge issue because that's all you could hear was an African-American man managed to get the money to leave. And to me, if you go pay somebody that much money to leave, that set up, I think, for Jonathan O'Craig and a lot of people, two flags. One, where do we get the money from? Two, what did he do so wrong that you need to pay that money to get rid of him? You got to pay that much money to get rid of somebody. They know more than we thought, and there's more going on than we knew. So yeah, Jonathan being the grandfather of a recall, yeah, he opened the door. He opened the door, and it's still open.
I had to get Connie Green on the phone, but I'm just curious. I mean, because that makes sense to me. I mean, it seems like he knew something was up,
right?
But being a smart man that he is, I mean, I got to give him props for this. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and get this 750.
That's it. That's it. But also, he was smart enough because he had some help from some people in the community. Not only did he get that, he got his retirement.
Right.
So he was able to do all the legally, and it was legal, what he got, but he got his retirement plus that, and he's still here. He does business. He has the business. He invested his money. Wow. And he's still doing good. But the point is, yes, that door is open, and also we need to remember, we paid $60,000 to a woman who claimed she was sleeping with the previous city manager. We paid her $60,000.
So it's a hot time foolery.
Yeah, we paid her, and then she came back and said that she wasn't allowed to get a job somewhere. We had to give her some more money.
Wow.
So from Jonathan O'Craig up, we found out that we've been paying a lot of people some cash that we didn't even know about.
So Tuesday, y'all need to.
Before Tuesday, we need to call your city council person, and we need to get the right mayor pro tem in there, so that things on the agenda will be about the city and not about special interests. Need to call them. And we're going to take a break and come back.